Close.
If it's, I just have to push it. And then you leave a gap for the air.
The airflow. It's true.
That's good. That's good.
It's good?
Yeah.
Okay. Every day is a test. Well, let me wipe your screen, Kingston. Let me do a little wipesies. Let's see what's working on mine. Yeah, it seems to be working. You want to get in front of me? Don't get hit by a car. What the fudge? This doesn't work? Oh. That's the... We're walking to the Metro Rail to our Miami event. Get a little walk in. Take the train. Across. I think it's a good angle, so you don't, right? You can't walk back. You have to sort of walk at a sideways angle. This is a very beautiful Catholic church, by the way, here. It's very nice. What are the signs for? Don't run into that tape there. What the fudge? Across here. This whole thing's under construction. Careful. Whew. So there's your Metro Rail, Kingston. It's all elevated, it's all above ground.
Sorry.
Look at all those chickens there. In this Byron. It's actually insane that Miami is just chickens. There's just chickens in Tallahassee and Miami in parking lots. Careful here. So. Yeah, 950 ran out.
Oh, that's pretty freaking cool.
We got dollar coins. All right, so you scan that. Sacagawea, American Indian dollar coin, 2001. Susan B. Anthony, 1979 dollar coin. We came for the train, we stayed for the memories and the dollar coins. Isn't that fun? Frederick Douglass. And then a couple quarters. It's pretty good. Pretty cool. Good. That's the Marlins Stadium over there, by the way, Kingston. You ever had Cuban food before, Kingston? Have you ever had Cuban food? It'd be good to have some tomorrow morning. Walk down here for a second. So we'll take Orange Line down Douglas Road. Be good.
The elevators at Tri-Rail Station is out of service. Please exit at north side of the station and seek assistance from the guards to continue your trip. The elevators in Tri-Rail Station is out of service. Please exit the north side of the station and seek assistance from the guards to continue your trip. Attention northbound passengers. The northbound elevators in Brownsville and Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Station are out of service. Passengers needing elevator access at these stations should exit the northbound train at north side station and transfer to the southbound train to use the southbound elevator at their destination. Please see security for assistance. Thank you for riding Metro Rail. The elevator at Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Plaza, northbound platform 2. The northbound train is approaching the station. Stand back to the platform edge. Please wait in the advance to leave the train before boarding.
Other side, Kingston.
Right there, and then he runs away.
Good caught there. Good caught there.
Dale pues. Bye.
Cool. So this is a good way to experience it.
Yeah.
It's a really good way to experience it. Look, cool skyline. It's a cool skyline. You have the charger and stuff, the extension cord.
Yeah.
You just don't have the tripod, right? It's fine. Try to do an event without it. So you're going to need to make sure that the live view is plugged in. Camera's plugged in. Yeah. It'll be fun. Well, this can let you play with angles as well, right? Because you can do a wide shot if I move, because I always move, talk at different angles. No. A couple more. 2 more after this. at the constant stop and go. It's kind of crazy. Bro. You gotta get in the surfer position with the thing. Get yourself situated. Subway surfer, but inside. It's much quieter than New York City subway. No one's trying to sell you fruit. No one's breakdancing. I haven't seen Jordan Neely act up yet. This is a good option, by the way, if you work downtown and you live in Coral Gables, you live down by Dadeland, that US 1, that's bumper to bumper. That could be 10 miles. That could take you an hour 25. And so this is a really good, cheap option that a lot of people, as you can tell, people who are doctors, physicians in the hospital, service workers who work in hotels downtown, students. So this is a really, really good option. Seems pretty safe. What was it?
More of it.
Yeah, we need more of it. Imagine if you could go from Lakeland to Orlando. And you don't need Brightline for that. I mean, I love Brightline, but you don't need Brightline to go from Lakeland to Orlando. You need a rail like this. Put it in the middle of I-4. And then people say, well, what are you going to do that for? Well, because it unlocks a lot of job opportunities. Think about it. If you live in Lakeland and you're making $15 an hour, and there's a job that opens up in Orlando for $22 an hour, but you don't have a car, you don't have a means to get there, then you're leaving $7 an hour on the table. It's real money. We're going up here. Just gotta make sure that this stuff stays. It's gotta stay safe.
Por favor, espere
clean, really safe. Say what you want, Miami-Dade County, done a good job on this. I would say you need more service during the rush hour. We waited about 10 minutes to get the train. You shouldn't wait no more than 5 minutes. This is rush hour. This is Wednesday. What's up, man?
You got my vote, man.
What's your name?
Well,
Nice to meet you. Coming to our event? Are you going to come to our event tonight?
Coming to the event.
Oh, good.
I get a picture real quick?
Of course.
Thank you.
Thanks, man. You from here?
Yeah, make our state great, man.
We're going to do it. Do you ride the Metro Rail a lot?
Yeah.
What's one thing we can do to improve it?
Be faster.
So we're just saying, yeah, faster. So more service, you think?
Yeah,
Okay.
for sure.
Where do you live?
I live in Kendall.
Okay, so so you take this
Yeah.
often?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, man. I'll see you at the event.
I'll see you there, yeah.
See you, man.
For sure.
Appreciate it. All right, so now the question is, you still have your thing, right? We got to tap out, I think. Oh, I think you move forward. Build, they just keep building. But that was interesting feedback, was speed the train service up. So let's go from, and by the way, I don't think, what you could do one of two things. You could shorten the number of cars on the train itself and say instead of a 7 or 8 car train, you make a 4 or 5 car train, and then you run it twice as often, especially during peak hours. And I don't think there's a reason you can't run that thing 24 hours a day. Palm Beach County, most of the city bus service in Palm Beach County does not run past 9 p.m. Think about that. You can get a bus to work, but you cannot get a bus home. And this is a massive tourist destination, Palm Beach County. But they have $1 billion to lend to Israel, but they can't lend money to their own transit authority to make the buses run on time. We're going to make the buses and the trains run on time. And if you're pissed off about that, then I don't know what to say. Let's see how far the walk is, actually. Actually, we're just gonna walk. We're just gonna walk the whole way. I'll tell the journalist to meet us there. So let's see. Over here. It's a straight shot, which is nice. Just up Douglas Road. It's about a 30-minute walk. You know, one thing, too, we have to do is not just public transit, but we have to make it safer for pedestrians to walk places. And when you do that, you save lives, but you also increase walkability. So yeah, we'll walk up Southwest 37th Avenue. It's about a mile up the road. So look, this is the kind of traffic that you avoid when you take the Metro Rail. Get my right, Kingston. Get my right. It's about a 32-minute walk to the location. We'll get there early to meet with the journalist, obviously. And then we'll start at 7, which will be fun. We're here. We're here. Big thing with walkability is widening sidewalks and putting an extra buffer, a couple extra feet between the furthest right part of the lane. Remember, pedestrians have to feel comfortable. It's just as much about perceived safety as it is actual safety. If you don't perceive that you're going to be safe on your walk, then you don't want to walk. Right? So you widen this out and you feel more comfortable. In areas where you think there's going to be the potential for more pedestrian traffic. You got to get people comfortable walking again. And in a place like Miami where you have that population density, where a lot of stuff is really close, you can do that. It's going to be harder in places like Tallahassee, places like Marietta. But in a place like Miami, yeah, you should encourage walking. You see it in downtown, there's no reason it can't happen more here. And if it weren't true, I wouldn't expect you to say that it weren't true. Let me get in front a little bit. So you have the extension cord for this, right? Okay. So I think what you do is you retain the same backpack setup, but you just plug the thing in, right? It's true. I actually really like the idea of the fanny pack. For the live view. Do we have enough money to get both? Is the $950? I think we spend $950 a day. Oh, well, that's interesting. Yeah, let me look real quick. I got it. All right, so let's see. Yeah, let me look real quick. Yeah, so someone asked about the monorail, the Metro Rails it's called. It was really good, actually. I mean, I went on it as a kid a lot when I came down here, but I actually found it to be really easy, could have been a little quicker in terms of wait time to get on the train, but fairly safe. And you know, you never get complacent with safety. You always want the safest place you should be is on public transit, as crazy as it is. I mean, you should never have to compromise safety for taking public transportation. And buses are a little bit sketchier, sadly, but we just have to do more to make sure that our public transit routes, I think far too often we think about safety in terms of government buildings, obviously schools, really important, but yeah, your commute to work should not be one in which you could end up like Irina did in Charlotte. And we don't even think of Charlotte as a really dangerous city like a Minneapolis in New York or what used to be DC. So you really want to maintain that sense that you can actually be safe, whether it's on the bus, on the metro rail, on the people mover as it's called in downtown Miami. But again, I think the pedestrian stuff is really key. And say what you want about Washington, D.C., there's very wide sidewalks there. Very, very wide sidewalks. So you just feel more comfortable as a pedestrian. And that comfort lends itself to being more inclined to walk more, to go more places as a pedestrian. Have you ever had Korean barbecue? It's a really good Korean barbecue place in Fort Lauderdale. Really good. You gotta go there. Fort Lauderdale, about an hour north of here. Because the Korean barbecue, they bring out the meat raw, and then you cook it. Yeah, you cook it. They have like a little stove, a little charcoal setup, and you cook it yourself. It's really good, actually. So yeah, I think the big thing is when you think about public transit, when you think about creating a system that allows anyone to get from point A to point B, and that's your choice. Do you want to get there in your vehicle? By all means, do that. But also, we can't force people into public transit. What we can do is we can make it an incredibly safe, incredibly fast, incredibly reliable, incredibly affordable option that people will take. And Brightline is a really great example of that. They didn't force anybody into Brightline. There's a lot of cities in the world that actually say that in South America, that to restrict traffic, if your license plate ends with a 5 on Tuesday, you can't drive on Tuesday. You can't do that. It takes away choice. But what you can do is make a, careful there, is make a really solid public transportation system that is affordable, that is reliable, that is safe. You know, you should never have to be faced with a Jordan Neely situation. What happened to Irina and Charlotte? Well, I mean, sorry, not Jordan. What Jordan Neely tried to do to others, right? Yelling, attacking. You can't have that kind of situation. And so public transit has to be, you know, yeah, we'd love to make everything free, but public transit first and foremost has to be safe. And what we saw back there on the Metro was actually really, really safe. It seems like a really good option. Now, we'll have to ride it again in the evening to get a better idea of, is that actually a consistent pattern? But the big thing is, how do you actually create a public transit system that gets people out of their cars? Not because they're forced to, not because you compelled them to, but because you incentivize them, like, hey, this is a really, really good option. This is really affordable. This is really reliable. And one bad experience on public transit, getting in a delay, having someone verbally assault you, or not verbally assault, physically assault, verbally harass, whatever, that changes your entire experience. You want to get rid of some of the congestion, especially on the I-4 corridor, on 95 in South Florida. You have to continue to double down on public transit options. And it's not just rail. You've got Brightline, you've got Tri-Rail, you've got Metro Rail. It is also Broward County Transit, Miami-Dade Transit, making sure there are express routes, making sure there are really reliable, fast ways to get around town. And again, we don't view spending more money on public transit as spending. We view it as investing. If we can invest in new public transit routes between Lakeland and Orlando, between Tampa and Orlando, even bus routes, takes you from downtown Tampa to downtown Orlando, guess what? You're going to unlock a lot of people who have jobs in Orlando but can get paid more in Tampa. Now they have a way to get there. They have the income from that new job to put down a down payment, to buy a home, to get married, to have kids. And as President Biden said, you know the rest. And so I think that's the beauty of it is, look, spending money, there's two types of ways to spend money. People say don't get into debt. If you get into debt to buy a Lamborghini that produces no income, that does nothing for you or your family, doesn't help you start a family, doesn't help throw off cash, there's no point. But if you borrow money to do something productive, to get a certificate, a training program, a vocational program, you borrow a little bit of money to do that, and then you do that and that unlocks new opportunities, of course we should welcome that. And so we can't just be opposed to borrowing money. We should be opposed to recklessly borrowing money for unproductive means and unproductive ends. But yeah, we should borrow money if and when it makes sense to invest it in our communities, to invest it in safer public transit. And what you see in DC is the easiest way to do that is a more visible police presence. You know, to the extent that there are sketchy individuals on the Metro Rail, enforce the fare. Seems like you did a good job of that there. Enforce the fare, and that $2 fare could be the difference between somebody hopping the gate or not, enforce the fare, and then separately, when there are issues on routes, a police presence, police officer on that train during rush hour where you might have more of the issues. And that's how you build comfort. That's how you get more and more people behind the idea of using our buses. If you're a single woman, you're probably not comfortable taking the bus in Miami-Dade County because of what you might have heard, because of the perception of the bus, what you might have seen on social media. So it's our job as government to improve that, to make it look a lot better. Get in front. You can get in front a little bit. You can get in front just a little bit. We talked obviously yesterday about SunPass. We're going to eliminate all tolls for Florida residents. You shouldn't be paying money to drive on the roads. That's ridiculous. Let the tourists pay for it. We have the best tourist scene in the country. We have the beaches, we have the Everglades, we have the theme parks, we have the convention centers, we have the cruise ports, we have all the nice resorts. Charge the tourists a little bit more. We have something called pricing power. When it's 12 degrees in New York City and it's 75 here, we have something called pricing power. We need to lean into that pricing power. That's the business background. Lean into that pricing power and say, you know what? Yeah, we're going to charge you more to drive on our roads, you out-of-staters. We're going to charge you more foreigners. We're going to charge you more snowbird Canadians. And then every other Florida plate will be exempt. You have a Florida plate, you're exempt. If you don't have a Florida plate, you're going to pay 4 to 5 times more. New York plate, Connecticut plate, Canadian plate, doesn't matter. You pay more, and don't threaten that you're not going to come. Give me a break. Give me a break. You're going to come. We're the envy of the country in our beaches, in our resorts, in our food, in our hospitality. We have theme parks that rival everyone else. We can afford to charge a little bit more, not for the sake of charging more, not because we want to spite the New Yorkers, but because we need to deliver relief for Florida residents. And that's real. I mean, someone messaged me the other day that they calculated that their family over the last 20 years has spent $30,000 in tolls. $30,000 just to drive on the frickin' road. And then you have the mother we met the other day, Kayla, in Leesburg. And what did she say? I'm having to choose between taking the toll road and spending money that our family doesn't have right now in order to come home to see my kids. Or my option is to save that money, spend 30 minutes more driving on the back roads and not spending that 30 minutes a day with my kids. And that's not a choice that any Florida parent should have to make, grandparent should have to make, grandchild to go visit a grandparent. Every second with our family counts. And so you want to invest in families, you need to make the cost of getting to see your family, the cost of getting to work, you have to make it cheaper. Up here. Two steps. Ever been to Pei Wei, Kingston? Chinese, Asian food, fast casual. It's like Panera Bread for Chinese food. It's pretty good. It's better than Panda Express, I think. Higher quality. I don't know that it's better. I don't know that it tastes better. It's supposedly higher quality, healthy, or whatever that's supposed to be. We can lower that a little bit. Shawarma. Falafel. Interesting. Delivery robot. Interesting. We have a little white man. Oh wow, a Sears. Interesting. So yeah, I mean, I think that's the big thing is affordability is not just your home. It is your tolls. It is your HOA. It is your property insurance. It's definitely your property tax. It is your public transit. And affordability should be understood by two levers, which is the price of goods and services along with your take-home pay. What's up, man? Along with your take-home pay. And so I think we have to do two things to address affordability. We literally have to bring prices down. And I don't mean, well, inflation used to be 5%. Prices used to be going up every single year by 5%. And now they're going to only go up every single year by 3%. We need to actually bring prices down in real terms, in literal terms. And then second, we have to raise pay. And there's a couple ways to do it. Look, public sector pay, we're definitely in control of. It doesn't make sense that Florida is apparently #1 in education, #1 in all these things in the education K through 12 space, but our teachers are the worst paid in the country. They're ranked 49th out of 50 in average teacher pay. That doesn't make any sense. And so what I've said is that in year one, we're going to do two things. We're going to adopt performance-based compensation for our teachers. And we're also going to raise baseline teacher pay to 25%. Raise baseline teacher pay to by 25%. Now there's going to be a little bit of strings attached to that because they're going to be doing 25% more right off the bat. Every teacher will have to do a mandatory parent-teacher conference. Every single student will have to sit for a parent-teacher conference twice a year. Parental involvement is not a nice to have, it's not a suggestion, it's absolutely indispensable to our schools and to our students' success. And so we're just going to mandate it. As a parent, you're going to be required to show up with your child twice per school year. Across here. You can go. So mandatory parent-teacher conference. Parental involvement is not going to be optional if you elect me governor. It's going to be absolutely mandatory in our public schools. You as a parent deserve to know exactly what's going on in your kid's class, what their strengths are, what their areas of improvement are, and that interaction, that engagement needs to happen in person, it needs to happen at the school, it needs to happen with all the teachers. So we're not just raising teacher pay by 25% without anything in exchange for it. Every single teacher is going to sign a new contract in which they understand that there's a 25% nominal pay increase on day one, but that comes with, first and foremost, the understanding that they're going to be doing a lot of parent-teacher conferences. A lot of them. I remember when I was in middle school and high school, mainly middle school, but the parent-teacher conference was kind of when I got my act together. If I knew that was coming, and my parent, you can't BS through a parent-teacher conference because it's you, it's your grades, it's your teacher, it's your parents. There's no BSing, there's no spinning. Where do you stand? And so if a student is falling behind, if a student isn't where they need to be, then the parent-teacher conference is a really powerful tool to remind the parents to get more involved, because you can have a student who is told to do all the right things during the day, but when they go home, they just don't yet have that parental feedback, that parental accountability mechanism. And I don't even know that you can blame the parents in most cases. It's because there isn't that communication line between the parents and the teachers. And so when you mandate the parent-teacher conference twice a year, literally from kindergarten to high school, that's key. And, you know, if you're a parent who doesn't want to do it, your kid's going to be unenrolled. It's that simple. Unenrolled.
Hey, James.
Hey, man.
How are you?
Good.
I'm Ian Valdez. I'm hosting the event.
Oh, thanks, man. How are you?
I'm all right. I'm Alex. I graduated from the same university he's in.
Which is?
FIU.
Great school. Beautiful campus. Where are we hosting it?
So, yeah, we're going to have it here in the patio area. I think like around like where these chairs are, these gray chairs with the umbrellas.
Cool.
I believe that the venue can provide a microphone if you guys need one.
Sure, we'll take one.
And I also have a guy coming with some sound equipment as well if you guys need that. So
We'll take anything we can get.
and
I appreciate you doing this.
Yeah, no problem, man.
Cool. All right, I have a quick meeting in there with the reporter.
Oh, okay.
All right, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you very much.
Let me see you now.
Thank you. All right, we'll be back on a little bit at 7 p.m. for these full remarks here in Miami-Dade, our second event down here since jumping into this race. But Kingston, as always, pleasure. Thank you so much. We'll be back in about an hour.